Yeah, so it's around preseason time. We're all getting back into football, and the excitement kicks back in. I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait for the season to start. Watching football is one of the best things literally ever, so I just can't wait for it to start. And as many of you know, many of you don't know, my favorite team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, alright? So, this team was pretty good last year, 12-4, pretty rocky end to their season, whatever. Got Najee Harris, could be a contender for the playoffs once again. Could potentially upset everybody in the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl. And a lot of people, they have this optimism for their favorite team. Some of it's justified for teams that are actually good, like, the Packers, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Bills. Some are saying the Browns and the Ravens, that's a bunch of baloney. But yeah, optimism is a good thing to have as a fan. It really drives this video. What's the point of even having optimism if we already know the outcome of the Super Bowl? So, yeah, this video is about the Super Bowl. What's the point of even watching football this year if you already know what the Super Bowl is going to look like? So you're probably saying, wow, that's a bold claim. That doesn't make any sense, right? Well, we look at the AFC, and recently, I would say, not recently, but for the last decade, it's been dominated by a couple players. One being Tom Brady, one being Peyton Manning, and, Roethlisberger's been in the Super Bowl a couple times. But really, it's been Tom Brady, Manning, and Patrick Mahomes. And, yeah, that's really all you got there. And look at that. There is only one player remaining in the AFC that really competes in the AFC, which is Mahomes, right? And the Chiefs. And then you look at, the past decade once again. Like I said, Tom Brady and Mahomes are just competing. They didn't play that many games against each other, but now Tom Brady's in the NFC. And who's his competition? There's Aaron Rodgers, and, that's it. That's all I got. That's it. Not a lot of good teams in the NFC. I do certainly believe the Rams and the Packers are good teams, good competition, good Super Bowl contenders. But if you look at the overall picture, what do you think the Super Bowl is going to look like again? Well, if you don't say Chiefs, Buccaneers, then you're wrong. That's the answer. Why do I say this? Because it's inevitable. Why is it inevitable? Let's look at the facts. So, Mahomes been dominating the AFC. The Chiefs, very well coached team by Andy Reid. We look at the past 3 years. 3 seasons ago, the Chiefs were the first seed, made it to the AFC Championship, and lost to Tom Brady. Tom Brady and the Patriots went to the Super Bowl. I think played the Rams. We look at the next season. The Patriots, Tom Brady, I think, that was a bad season for the Patriots. They went 10-6, and they lost to the Titans in the wild card game. We look at the Chiefs once again. They get the second seed, and we look at the Ravens, their first seed. The Titans upset everybody in the playoffs to beat the Patriots, to beat the Ravens, and the Chiefs host the AFC Championship game. And they beat the Titans, and they go to the Super Bowl, and they win. Now we look at this season, the Chiefs could have gotten first seed. I believe Mahomes was injured for a couple games, but I do believe they lost one game with him out. But that's only one game. I think they had a rocky start to their season too, but the Chiefs were just dominating that year. There's no denying that. I think they won every game in a row since a certain point. I don't remember. But that year, the Chiefs unstoppable in the AFC. Let's look at the year after that. Who wins the AFC? The Chiefs. Once again. The Chiefs were virtually unbeatable this year, except for one team, as you may know. The team that beat them in the Super Bowl. I believe the Chiefs' only loss, I know they went 14-2, but, I believe their only loss was to the Raiders. And after that point, they just didn't lose. They lost Week 17 to the Chargers. They were benching all their starters. That's expected, right? Chargers are a decent team. So the Chiefs, after, the Steelers go 11-0, the Bills are ahead of them in the standings, maybe not. They end up with the first seed in the AFC, and they make it to the Super Bowl once again. So that's 3 straight seasons the Chiefs have made it to the AFC Championship game, and that is 3 straight seasons they have hosted the AFC Championship game. Lost only one of those 3 years ago to Tom Brady, and that leads us to the NFC. Who is the king of the NFL? Tom Brady. There's no denying that. And honestly, we look at the NFC, so many bad teams, and not a lot of competition for the Buccaneers. I'm going to say it. Buccaneers can lose. Only to the Packers and only to the Rams, but that's all I got. The unfair thing about the Buccaneers is that they have so many talented players on both sides of the field. Their offense is just stacked. They got, I thought, the best receiver I've ever seen, Antonio Brown. They got him for a cheap price because of the risk, high reward. There you go. They got Gronk. He doesn't even care that much about the money. He just wants to play with Tom Brady. We got Tom Brady. As you may know, he doesn't even take that much money in his paycheck. Just leaves a lot of, cap space for other players to sign. They got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Scotty Miller had a pretty nice run. They got Leonard Fournette for free. Dude was the 5th pick in the draft 5 years ago and went insane in the playoffs. Besides that, they got Ronald Jones at running back too. Their offense is unstoppable. And then you look at their defense too. Their defense was a little shaky in the beginning of the season, but once it got in the playoff form, it was just unbeatable. Their secondary stepped up a lot, got a lot of picks in the playoffs against the Saints to win that game. I think they picked off Aaron Rodgers once, maybe or twice, and their secondary in the Super Bowl was really good. But what really did it for them was their defensive line, their linebackers. In the Super Bowl, it was unstoppable, and that was mainly due to the Chiefs' offensive line just absolutely injured or being garbage. But I think the Buccaneers defense is one of the best in the NFL, and you also got a literally god tier freaking offense. This team's unbeatable. So we have one unbeatable team in the NFC, the Buccaneers, and one unbeatable team in the AFC, the Chiefs. Is the Super Bowl inevitable? I believe so. So with that being said, the point of this video is, what's the point of even having optimism for your team if you're not a Chiefs fan or if you're not a Buccaneers fan? And I'm really questioning that, because as a Steelers fan, I think my team has a really good opportunity to make a playoff run, especially with Najee Harris, like I said. I think the Bills, Packers, Rams have a really good chance of making the playoffs and, maybe winning their conference. Maybe the Browns and the Ravens. But realistically, is it going to happen? Because just think about it. Even if, the Buccaneers don't get first seed, look what they did last year. They were 5th seed. They beat every team on the road except for the Super Bowl, and then they won it. And we got the Chiefs, who just didn't lose to anybody last year except the Raiders and the Chargers. Absolute legendary teams. If you're a Bills fan, you might have a case to win the AFC, but you got to play the Chiefs. And you're not beating the Chiefs, and you won't ever beat the Chiefs if Mahomes is healthy. So ask yourself this: is there really even a point of watching football this year? I'm gonna say, repeating a Super Bowl is pretty rare, especially the same 2 teams in a row. It's pretty rare, obviously. But this is turning into the NBA kind of. The NBA, you got 2 super teams per, conference. This was pretty common. It still is. And we saw this a lot with the Cavaliers versus the Warriors. That happened literally 4 years in a row. So, that's literally what's going to happen in the NFL until Tom Brady retires. It's going to be Chiefs versus Buccaneers. And if one of them doesn't make it, I bet money the other one will. And if the other one does make it, they're winning it. They're winning the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs are better than every team in the AFC. I think they're better than every team in the NFL except the Buccaneers, and I think the Buccaneers will remain the best team in the league. So yeah, you're probably thinking, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But is it really? Just think about it. What two players have dominated football? Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Literally the two most dominant players I've seen ever. And Mahomes it's not even in year 5. Like, come on. Maybe this is his year 5, but Tom Brady would always win the AFC. And now the Chiefs are always going to win the AFC because they're that good. And now that these two players are in different conferences, it is inevitable that they play each other in the playoffs. In the Super Bowl once again. Trust me, I would never make this video if these two players or these two teams existed. Just wouldn't make any sense. Because the NFL is very competitive. You only have one opportunity to win or go home, basically. Unlike the NBA, where you have one bad game. And you can make up for it best out of 7, right? So, I just think these two teams are that good. And they're going to dominate the league until Tom Brady retires. And honestly, I feel bad. If you're an AFC fan, if your team's in the AFC, just get used to losing to the Chiefs every single year. That's how dominant they're going to be. So comment down below why I am wrong. Because I want to know your opinions on this. If you agree with me, leave a like. Comment down below, please. I just want to hear your opinions. I know this video makes no sense if these two teams didn't exist, but they do. And they're super teams. And there's really no stopping them, so, adios.